Hey guys, I'm Mark from Porsche Sport and welcome to week 18 of the 2018-2019 Premier League review. If you want a new series, what we do is take a look at the past set Premier League results, we take a look at the Premier League table and we finish off by looking at the top goal scorers. So here are the past set of Premier League results. These games were played on Friday the 21st, Saturday the 22nd and Sunday the 23rd of December 2018. Also next to the games are their times in this video, so if you want to hear about a specific match, just go to the time next to the game and you'll skip out all the other crap. But without further ado, let's get into our first match. And we start with Everton versus Tottenham. Everton took the lead in the 20-minute mark as Theo Walcott gave the hosts the lead. The former Arsenal man just loves a goal against his arch rivals for a majority of his career as he Gylfi Sigurdsson passed down the left-hand side. Dominic Calvert-Lewin holds off Kieran Trippier, makes his way to the byline and pulls one back into a dangerous position, and there in a ton of space was Theo Walcott who finished through the legs of Hugo Lloris. But Tottenham would level the game up a few minutes later as Son Heung-min capitalised on a defensive mistake. A ball played over the top and Kurt Zouma is tracking the South Korean. Jordan Pickford comes out for it, but Pickford and Zouma clatter into each other and Son comes out scot-free. But don't take anything away from the finish. He's really wide and just about squeezes an effort back across goal into the side of the net. And Tottenham took the lead in the 35th minute as Dele Alli put Spurs ahead for the first time in the match. Good play in the middle by Spurs as Ali and Moussa Sissoko play a 1-2 and the Frenchman plays it forward to Son Heung-min. His effort is powered by Pickford but only back into the penalty area, and there running onto it was Ali who hit it with his laces through the legs of Seamus Coleman and through Jordan Pickford as well. Tottenham doubled their lead in the 41st minute as Harry Kane got his 10th goal of the season. A free kick a few yards outside the box and Kieran Trippier, Christian Eriksen and Son Heung-min are all standing over it. Son does a dummy run down the wing, Trippier takes the shot, the ball hits the base of the post, Pickford obviously dived for it and is out of the action, and the ball falls back to Harry Kane who put the rebound home. And Tottenham will get a 3-goal lead in the 49th minute as Christian Eriksen got on the score sheet. A lovely strike from the Danish playmaker as a cross comes in from the right. Michael Keane gets a good head on it to clear about 25 yards out and the danger should really be done, but Eriksen runs onto it, absolutely leathers one with a ton of spin on it to take it away from the keeper and into the bottom right. But Everton were going to go back 2 minutes later as Gylfi Sigurdsson halved the deficit. Good run from the midfielder as he slaloms his way around the defence. He's on the edge of the area and whilst making his way across to the box he hits one back across goal that goes into the opposite bottom corner. Gotta feel Lloris should be doing better with this one. It's not right in the corner and Lloris does get a hand to it, but it's a hand that may be made of toilet paper, it was that weak. But Tottenham will get their 3-goal lead back 10 minutes later as Son Heung-min got his second of the game. Too easy for Spurs though, as Everton's soft underbelly was exposed far too easy as Lemaya plays in Son through the legs of Michael Keane. Son is just about offside but the linesman keeps his flag down and Son finishes and puts it through the legs of Pickford and into the net. Actually, I'm just thinking about it. So, Michael Keane got a touch to it, so would he be offside? Would he? No, because he's offside and he's interfering with play. Yeah, he's offside. And Tottenham got another one in the 74th minute as Harry Kane got his second and Tottenham's 6th of the evening. Ben Davies with a lovely ball down the wing to Son, who was just about onside this time. He plays a lovely low cross into the box and Harry Kane got away from his man, slid in to touch it into the far right corner. And that's how the game ended, with both teams producing an interesting performance. Tottenham were quality and Everton were top quality Oh, Tottenham were forced to come behind, but as soon as they scored their first, there was just no stopping them. Pickford missed up again, because of course he did. He's quite And in the mess that was Everton's last season, they're actually a point worse off than they were this time last year. So maybe stop thinking you're a big team, yeah? Because you're not. And we move on to Cardiff versus Manchester United. In their first game under new management, Man United took the lead just 3 minutes into the game as Marcus Rashford opened the scoring. Pogba and Rashford are standing over a free kick. Pogba runs over it and leaves Rashford to crack one towards the keeper's corner. The keeper takes a massive step towards the opposite corner, predicting Rashford going over the wall, but it catches him out. The keeper's left flat-footed and can only watch as the ball nestles into the bottom right corner. And United double their lead just before the half-hour mark as Ander Herrera got his second goal of the league season. He had the ball well outside the area. He hits one that looked like it was headed for the keeper, but a deflection off of Cunningham puts some crazy outside swerve on it, and it swerves well out of the reach of him and into the right hand side of the net. But Cardiff will get a great chance to get back into it in the 36th minute as they were given a penalty. A really needless penalty to give away in my opinion. The ball was cleared but only towards the edge of the Man United area. In comes Rashford to get it away, but he swoops low, controls it with his arm, and it was the assistant who was in a fantastic position who flagged it, and of course the ref had full faith in his lino. Victor Camarasa stepped up to take it and he beat his fellow Spaniard as he slotted it in the top left. But Man United will get their 2-goal lead back just 5 minutes later as Anthony Martial made it 3-1. This is the Man United we all expect. Martial started the move and then 4 one-touch passes. Martial to Pogba, Pogba, Lingard, Rashford to Martial, who ran through the middle of all of that put it back across goal and at the bottom left. And United had the perfect chance to go 3 up in the 55th minute as they were given a penalty. I'm not sure about this one, I could see it going both ways. Jesse Lingard made his way into the box, he's holding off 3 players, and eventually a little nick on him forces him down. And you know what, now that I'm saying it out loud, yeah, that is a penalty. Jesse Lingard also stepped up to take it, and he sent the keeper the wrong way and slotted it into the bottom right. And United will get 5 goals in a game since Sir Alex Ferguson's last match, as Jesse Lingard got United's 5th in the 89th minute. Pogba with a sublime pass through the Cardiff defence. Lingard times his run perfectly. He skips past 2 players at the same time, one of them being the Cardiff keeper, and tapped into the empty net. And that's how the game ended. What a fantastic start for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's not the permanent manager and has only got it until the end of the season, but if he keeps going like this, just give him it for life. It was against Cardiff, but still, what a performance from United. Paul Pogba just seemed a completely different player in this game as well. He seemed less shackled in the middle, and the visitors passed at high tempo and closed their opponents down effectively, something that you come to expect from the biggest club in England. The needless penalty to give away for United could have caused some trouble, but in the end, it was light work for United, who brushed past Cardiff. And we move on to Manchester City versus Crystal Palace. To no one's surprise, Man City took the lead in the 26th minute as İlkay Gundogan got his 4th league goal of the season. It had been coming, but City did have to work hard for it, and it's another well-crafted move from City. Fabian Delph picked the ball up from the left-hand side. He whipped in a cross, and their meeting it was İlkay Gundogan who headed home. But the lead won't last long, as only 5 minutes later Palace shot pretty much everyone as they scored with their first shot of the entire game. A bolt from the blue, a tackle takes the ball from MacArthur into the path of Jeffrey Schlupp, and it looks like the danger is gone as Walker forces him wider, but Schlupp knows where the goal is. He drags it back across goal and into the bottom right. And would you believe it, 3 minutes later Crystal Palace took the lead as Andros Townsend scored an absolute worldie. Goal of the season right there. Closed the polls, no need for it. This is goal of the season. A free kick to Palace was put in. City mess up the first clearance but eventually get it away. Only to Townsend. The ball bounces in front of him. It doesn't even bounce. It doesn't even bounce. The ball comes to him, drops 30 yards out from goal on the volley, straight into the top right corner. If you haven't seen it, get that watched. Oh my word. And Palace got the perfect chance to get a 2-goal lead in the 50th minute as they were given a penalty. A header cannons off the post. Kyle Walker, who had a poor game, clatters Max Meyer, and the ref had no doubt as he pointed to the spot. Luka Milivojevic stepped up to take it, and despite Edison going the right way, he couldn't keep it out as he put it in the right corner of the net. Fantastic placement on this penalty, by the way, right into the side net, and Edison had no chance. But City would make the last 5 minutes interesting as they made it 3-2 as Kevin De Bruyne got the goal. No way he meant it though, as he had the ball on the right hand side, he swung across in, no one gets onto it, and it goes all the way in and made for a frantic final 5 at the Etihad. And that's how the game ended, with Palace picking up the biggest win of their season and possibly the entire season so far. When Man City took the lead, everyone expected it to be a routine day at the office, with City not losing here all season, but Palace just came out of absolutely nowhere. Palace's last 2 visits to the Etihad both ended in 5-0 defeats, but they were immaculately organised in this game and looked extremely dangerous on the counter. Whenever City had the ball, which was a lot, they had a lot of the ball in this match, they were allowed little space, and City's usual passing failed to find any gaps as City suffered their first league defeat at home since April earlier this year. And we move on to Wolves versus Liverpool. In the Friday night fixture, Liverpool took the lead in the 17th minute as Mo Salah got his 11th goal of the season. It started with a free kick for Liverpool and a cross on position. It doesn't really work, but it drops to Fabinho. He plays a 1-2 with Sadio Mane, and the Brazilian finds himself on the byline. He powerfully drills the ball back into the box, and they're finding themselves in a pocket of space with Mo Salah, who flicked home with the outside of his foot. And Liverpool doubled their lead in the 67th minute as Virgil van Dijk got his first league goal for the club. Another set piece routine as it was taken short. It was then swung into the middle by Andy Robertson. Wolves clear, but only as far as Mo Salah, who dinked the ball in towards the 6-yard line, and nobody is tracking the big centre-back. How can you miss a man of that size? How can you lose him? The best defender in the world gets free, catches it on the volley, and cushions it home. And that's how the game ended, with Liverpool overcoming a tough opponent to ensure that they will be top of the table at Christmas, and 4 points clear thanks to Crystal Palace's win. Wolves is a difficult place to go for the top sides. They are no pushovers. They took a point off of Man City and actually beat Chelsea a few weeks ago as well. But Liverpool came through the test unscathed. I can't see the unbeaten run lasting all season. There's no way that an invincible season will ever happen again in England unless Man City do it. It's not happening again, lads. But half a season unbeaten isn't too shabby at all. But trust me, it pains me to say this as a Liverpool fan. By the end of this festive period, Liverpool will be beat either by City or Arsenal, I reckon. And maybe to one of the teams that nobody expects. Maybe Newcastle on Boxing Day. Who actually knows? Wolves weren't pushed over in this game at all, give a good account of themselves, but they couldn't stop Liverpool as they marched on. And we move on to Arsenal versus Burnley. Arsenal took the lead in the 14th minute as their number 14 gave them the lead. Mesut Ozil back in the team and was causing danger as he put a curling ball in towards the back post. It did a bit too much for Kolasinac shoot, but he does well to lift one back in the middle, and Pierre Aubameyang broke free and slotted into the bottom right with the outside of the boot. And Arsenal doubled their lead just after half time as Pierre Aubameyang got his and Arsenal's second of the afternoon. Really good counter attack from Arsenal as Kolasinac gets onto a ball on the left hand side. Never knew tanks could get so quick, to be honest. He cut inside, gave it to Alexandre Lacazette on the edge of the area. He played it forward to Pierre Aubameyang, who stands his man up before powering it past Joe Hart into the roof of the net. But Burnley would reduce the deficit to 1 in the 62nd minute as Ashley Barnes got Burnley back into it. A free kick, taken shot, and eventually finds its way to Ben Mee. Falls to Chris Wood, and from then on, Arsenal just don't clear it. In a game of pinball, it drops to Ashley Barnes in space at the back post, and he smashed it low past Bernd Leno. But Arsenal wrapped the game up in the 90th minute as Alex Iwobi gave Arsenal their 2-goal lead back. 5 minutes were added on, and there were a few groans around the Emirates, but those turned into cheers within 20 seconds. As Mesut Ozil mazes his way into the area among some half-arsed challenges from the Burnley defence, he takes a shot that was blocked, and it falls to Alex Iwobi, who smashed home to make the final few minutes a lot more comfortable for the Gunners. And as the game ended, Arsenal get back to winning ways and have now led the league game at half-time for the first time this season, oh my word. Mesut Ozil made his first start for Arsenal in a while and inspired the Arsenal attacking third, with him being involved in 2 of the 3 goals. It was a nervous final third of the match after the Ashley Barnes goal, and the worry around the Emirates grew and grew, but Iwobi's late goal squashed those nerves and secured the win. And we move on to Huddersfield versus Southampton. Southampton got the first goal of the Saturday 3 o'clock kickoffs as they took the lead in the 15th minute through Nathan Redmond. Poor defender from Huddersfield as Terence Kongolo makes a complete mess of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg's through ball, and Nathan Redmond runs onto it before firing a high effort past the keeper. And Southampton will get the perfect chance to double their lead in the 40th minute as they were given a penalty. Clear pen for me this one. Danny Ings had the ball in the box, Matthias Jorgensen leaves a leg Hannon, he trips Ings over and the ref had no doubts about it as well. Danny Ings also stepped up to take it and he gave Losso the eye, sent him the wrong way and slotted it into the bottom left. But Huddersfield were going to go back in the 58th minute as Philip Billing got a goal out of absolutely nowhere. Billing has the ball about 25 yards out from goal, he spins his man and hits a good left-footed shot that bends a lot in the air and flies past the keeper to his right-hand side. But Southampton will get their 2-goal lead back in the 71st minute as substitute Michael Obafemi doubled the visitors' lead again. A nice little present for Southampton at Christmas time as Christopher Schindler loses the ball on the edge of the area. Nathan Redmond slipped the ball to Michael Obafemi, who steadied himself before rolling the ball into the bottom corner to make himself Southampton's youngest ever goal scorer in the Premier League. And as the game ended, Southampton picked up their 2nd consecutive win to keep Huddersfield in the relegation zone and send them to a 5th straight defeat. Huddersfield did improve in the second half and did get a goal out of nowhere really as Billing halved the deficit, but Obafemi's goal condemned Huddersfield to a 7th home league defeat of the season. Just when it looked like Huddersfield could get back into it, a mistake from Schindler shoots himself and his team in the foot as Southampton picked up back-to-back wins for the first time since April 2017. And we move on to Bournemouth versus Brighton. Bournemouth took the lead in the 20-minute mark as the young Welshman David Brooks gave the hosts the lead. A great goal as well from the lad as he picked the ball inside the Brighton half, makes his way towards the area, cuts the ball onto his left and hits a sweet effort back across goal that nestles into the bottom right. And things would go from bad to worse for Brighton as Lewis Dunk got a red card in the 73rd minute. He was already on a yellow card, so when he comes in very late on Callum Wilson, the ref had an easy choice and showed him the 2nd yellow. Now this is where I'm confused. First yellow, he didn't do anything wrong. It was Yes Basuma who made the foul, although to be fair to the ref, it was a sandwich. Yes Basuma and Lewis Dunk performed on a Bournemouth player, but if anything, it was Basuma who made the foul. He can't have any complaints about the second one, but the first one he can scratch his head about until the cows come home. And Bournemouth made the man advantage count in the 77th minute as David Brooks got his and Bournemouth's 2nd of the afternoon. Ryan Fraser had the ball on the wing and he sends a lovely cross into the middle that David Brooks gets on the end of and loops a great header over the keeper and into the side net. And as the game ended, a pretty comfortable win in the end for Eddie Howe's side. After only 1 win in the last 7 in the league, Bournemouth fans saw this game as a must-win encounter against a team relatively close to them in terms of league positioning. Brighton took the game to the horse and Bournemouth had Asmir Begovic to thank for keeping the game goalless in the opening stages of the match. Brighton continued to push for an equaliser, but Lewis Dunk's red card pretty much killed the game off as Brighton's wait for an away win at Bournemouth carries on. And we move on to West Ham versus Watford. Watford got the perfect chance to take the lead in the 27th minute as they were given a penalty. Jose Holebas, Gerard Deulofeu and Roberto Pereira carved the West Ham defence apart as they cut through them with some neat passing. Pereira has the ball in the box and in comes Fabian Balbuena, who takes Pereira out just as he's about to shoot, and the ref pointing to the spot. West Ham would be quietly confident as Lucas Fabianski had saved his last 3 spot kicks, but not today as Troy Deeney smashes his spot kick into the top right corner. And Watford wrapped the game up in the 88th minute as Gerard Deulofeu doubled the Hornets' lead. Great build-up play for the goal as well as the goal scorer and Roberto Pereira play a 1-2 that leaves the Argentine on the byline. He pulled it back to find Deulofeu again, who takes a touch to set himself and slot into the bottom right corner. And as the game ended with Deeney's first goal in just over 2 months, helping his team to stop West Ham's winning run. 2 flowing moves at the attacking end gave Watford the goals, but the backline were resilient and had to deal with a load of pressure from the home side. Christian Cabasile had a belter of a game and the big centre-back hardly put a foot wrong, but even when the home side found a way through him, Ben Foster delivered some great saves, getting a hand to all 7 of West Ham's on-target shots. Some wastefulness in front of goal for West Ham at times though cost them as they lose for the first time in 4 league games. And we move on to Chelsea versus Leicester. Not much happened in the first half, but we would get something to talk about in the second half as in the 50th minute, Leicester took the lead as Jamie Vardy gave the Foxes the lead. A lovely counter-attack from Leicester as James Maddison plays a lovely pass into perfect space for Vardy, who hit one first time into the right-hand side of the net past a rooted Kepa. And as the game ended, Jamie Vardy's second half strike stunned Chelsea and gave Sarri his first loss at home this season. Chelsea started strong and had the best chance of the first half as they hit the bar, but as soon as Leicester took the lead, Chelsea just seemed to fall apart with sloppy passes and Leicester only grew stronger. Before the game, reports were coming out about Claude Puel being under pressure after going on an unbeaten run and then being a bit wayward in the last 2 weeks, but they haven't had a really bad game. And the speculations for me is just a bit unjust. There were very little signs of a team lacking ambition here as they just wanted it more than Chelsea and picked up a big win. And finally, we've got Newcastle versus Fulham. Well, this was rubbish. But if one good thing comes out this game, Fulham kept a clean sheet. It's a Christmas miracle. To be fair, in the second half, Fulham weren't really troubled. Despite the building pressure from Newcastle, they rarely got close to the Fulham goal. And Fulham actually had 2 great chances to win the game at the end of the match. Newcastle were frustrated in this game as with a majority of the ball, they just couldn't find a way through the Fulham defence. And it will be the bottom side who will be happier with the point. Right, so that's all the games I've got for you this week. Before we go, let's take a look at the Premier League table and top goal scorers, starting off with the Premier League table. Start with top 5, and as you can see, Liverpool are top on Christmas and pulled away after they beat Wolves on Friday. Man City are second after a shock loss to Crystal Palace. Tottenham are third after smashing Everton. Chelsea are fourth after losing to Leicester, and Arsenal closed the gap on Chelsea to just goal difference after they beat Burnley. Moving on to the bottom 5, and Fulham are bottom after getting their first clean sheet of the season in the goalless draw with Newcastle. Huddersfield are 19th after losing to Southampton. Burnley make up the relegation zone after losing at the Emirates. Cardiff are 17th after shipping 5 to Man United, and Southampton climbed to 16th after another win this week against Huddersfield. Moving on to the top goal scorers, and as you can see, Pierre Aubameyang is on top after his double against Burnley took him to 12 goals and 3 assists. Mo Salah got the open against Wolves and the assist for Virgil van Dijk's goal that took him to 11 goals and 5 assists. After his double against Everton, Harry Kane moved into double figures on 11 goals and 3 assists. Raheem Sterling wasn't able to contribute to either of his team's goals this week. He stayed on 9 goals and 6 assists, and Eden Hazard was silenced by Leicester and he stayed on 8 goals and 9 assists. Right, so that's all gone for this week. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be back on Friday for the next episode of the Premier League review. Yes, a second episode of the week because obviously we've got the Boxing Day fixtures and a match on Thursday as well, so I'll cover those on Friday for you. If you want to stay up to date about anything we do, it will be best to follow us on Twitter. The link to that is in the description, or it's at portionofsport_. If you missed the previous episode, that'll be popping out on your screen now, along with a link to the channel so you can subscribe. But anyway, thanks for watching. I've been Mark from A Portion of Sport. Merry Christmas for tomorrow, people, and I will see you soon.